Fresh off his release from the Carolina Panthers, Anthony Brown could be a valuable addition to the Ravens secondary. Baltimore's defense has been underwhelming this season, ranking 21st in EPA per play and struggling to contain elite quarterbacks. Brown, though not a superstar, brings experience and consistency that could solidify the Ravens' backfield in high-pressure situations. Facing Mahomes or Allen in the playoffs demands every ounce of defensive depth possible, and Brown might just be the piece to add that extra layer of protection. Could we see the return of a familiar face? Veteran defensive tackle Calais Campbell is rumored to be a potential free agent if the Dolphins miss the playoffs. A six-time Pro Bowler with over 100 career sacks, Campbell would bring both leadership and reliability to a Ravens defense that has struggled to fill gaps left by departed players like Jadeveon Clowney and Geno Stone. At 38, Campbell isn't expected to be an every-down player, but his ability to generate pressure in crucial moments could prove invaluable in a deep playoff run. The Ravens have leaned heavily on their offense this season, led by MVP candidate Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. However, their defense lacks the balance to complement this offensive firepower. Bringing in players like Campbell and Brown could restore some equilibrium, helping key contributors like Kyle Van Noy and Roquan Smith thrive. This combination of talent and veteran presence might finally push the Ravens past defensive vulnerabilities that have plagued them in recent years. The Ravens also have an opportunity to prepare for the future. Reports suggest Tennessee Titans quarterback Will Levis may be available, and while Lamar Jackson remains the undisputed leader, Levis could be a valuable backup with potential to develop into a long-term solution. Injuries have occasionally sidelined Jackson, and having a reliable second-string option like Levis would be a smart investment, particularly in a league where quarterback depth is critical. With the postseason on the horizon, the Ravens face an urgent need to make key defensive adjustments. The addition of players like Brown and Campbell, along with a long-term vision involving Levis, positions Baltimore to make a legitimate push for their first Super Bowl title since 2012. These strategic moves could ensure that the Ravens maximize their roster potential and finally bring the Lombardi Trophy back to Baltimore. This offseason and playoff preparation could define the Ravens' trajectory for years to come. Will they seize the moment and make the necessary adjustments? All eyes are on Baltimore as they prepare to tackle the challenges ahead. Adding Anthony Brown to the roster wouldn't just be about filling gaps. It's about maximizing the Ravens' chances against high-powered offenses. Brown's experience and ability to adjust quickly to different defensive schemes make him an asset in matchups against playoff-caliber quarterbacks. Whether it's defending against deep threats or offering versatile coverage options, Brown's presence could allow the Ravens to tighten up a secondary that has underperformed in critical moments. Calais Campbell's potential return would not only bolster the defensive line but also bring invaluable leadership to the Ravens' locker room. Campbell has been a vocal leader throughout his career, guiding younger players and setting a high standard for performance on and off the field. In a playoff scenario, having someone with his experience and poise could be the X factor that helps Baltimore remain focused during high-pressure situations. While Anthony Brown and Calais Campbell bring obvious benefits, it's essential to evaluate the risks. Brown has been a journeyman, and his impact might be limited against elite offenses. Meanwhile, Campbell's age raises questions about durability, particularly in the grueling postseason grind. Despite these concerns, the potential rewards far outweigh the risks, especially given Baltimore's glaring defensive needs. These calculated gambles could elevate the team's playoff ceiling. The Ravens' offensive unit is among the league's best, with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry forming a dynamic duo. However, to complement this firepower, the defense must step up to provide critical stops. By balancing their roster with seasoned additions like Campbell and versatile players like Brown, Baltimore can create a harmonious team dynamic. This synergy is vital to sustain a deep playoff run and potentially secure a Super Bowl victory. This season represents a pivotal moment for the Ravens. With an MVP-level quarterback, a top-tier rushing attack, and strategic roster upgrades, Baltimore has all the ingredients to make a championship run. However, it will come down to execution in all phases of the game. If the Ravens can capitalize on these opportunities, they have the potential to cement their legacy and bring the Lombardi Trophy back to Baltimore after over a decade of waiting.